is, for many, the face of digital sin. A man who has been more publicly criticized and intensely scrutinized than almost any other figure of our time. And yet, he is also the fourth richest person on the planet. Right now, Mark Zuckerberg's net worth is a staggering $170 billion, a fortune that's almost impossible to comprehend. But what makes this story a true modern epic is that less than 2 years ago, critics were writing his obituary. His fortune had collapsed to below $35 billion, his grand vision a public joke. Today, he is a Bay Area phoenix rising from the digital ashes. He's not just back, he's more powerful than ever, collecting a personal dividend of nearly $700 million a year. On this channel, we unpack these hidden stories of legacy and power. I'm Beatrice, your guide through these complex modern histories. So the question that begins our journey is simple. How did he do it? Well, the answer is anything but simple, because his journey to this point has been less like a smooth sail and more like a voyage through the heart of the storm. A relentless storm of privacy breaches, global misinformation scandals, and accusations of building a digital monopoly. I mean, do you remember the Cambridge Analytica scandal? Let me know with a simple yes or no in the comments below. All of this just deepens the real mystery here. How does a figure at the center of so much public anger not only survive, but emerge wealthier and more powerful than ever before? To understand the phoenix, you must first understand the ashes. And to understand Mark Zuckerberg's resurrection, we have to sift through the digital wreckage of the decade when the world fell out of love with his creation. The journey into the storm is a story of 1,000 small cuts. The first real crack in the facade appeared in 2009. A change in Facebook's terms of service seemed to grant the company perpetual rights to user content, even if you deleted your account.
The backlash was swift, a primal scream from users realizing their digital life wasn't truly their own. Facebook backtracked, but a seed of doubt was planted. A year later, that seed sprouted with instant personalization, a feature that shared your data with partner sites without explicit consent. It felt less like connection and more like surveillance. The discomfort grew when Zuckerberg's own instant messages from his Harvard days were leaked. His now infamous quote, boasting about having the data of thousands of people who just trust me, Dumbfucks, felt less like a youthful mistake and more like a founding philosophy. It was a glimpse into the mindset. By 2011, the US Federal Trade Commission stepped in. A settlement was reached, and Facebook was legally bound by a consent decree to protect user privacy for the next 20 years. This should have been the end of the story, a promise on paper, a course correction. But it was merely a pause. The ripples of distrust became a tidal wave during the 2016 US election. The platform, once celebrated for its role in the Arab Spring, was now being identified as a vector for misinformation and foreign interference on a global scale. The question was no longer just about personal data. It was about the integrity of democracy itself. But the true watershed moment, the event that shattered any remaining illusion of innocence, arrived in 2018, the Cambridge Analytica scandal. This wasn't just a data leak. It was the revelation that a political consulting firm had harvested the data of up to 87 million users without their knowledge to build psychological profiles and target them with manipulative political advertising. This was the original sin made manifest. It was the moment the world finally understood the true cost of a free platform. The trust, painstakingly built over years of shared photos and status updates, was not just broken, it was incinerated. And at that exact moment, when his reputation seemed to be nothing but ash,
you would expect a retreat, a quiet disappearance from public life. But Mark Zuckerberg did the opposite. He began one of the most fascinating public transformations of our time. A new character emerged, not in code, but in flesh and blood. Picture the Zuckerberg of the past decade, the awkward figure in the hoodie, the pale, almost robotic man testifying before Congress, shifting uncomfortably in his chair. Now, erase that image. In its place, picture a man with a grounded stance and a muscular physique, posting photos of his face bruised from training. He wasn't just dabbling, he was competing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournaments and winning gold medals. Suddenly, the dominant narrative wasn't about data breaches, but about discipline and physical strength. The bizarre buzz around a speculative cage match with Elon Musk for a moment even cast him as a strange kind of people's champion against a more erratic rival. It was a masterful flip of the script. The nerd was now the fighter. This psychological shift was mirrored in his public conduct. During a recent Senate hearing on child safety, he did something unprecedented. He stood up, turned away from the senators, and directly apologized to the families in the audience whose children had been harmed. It was a moment of raw, uncomfortable theater, a world away from the evasive, legalistic answers of the past. This newfound confidence then bled into his professional rivalries. He posted a video from his couch, casually reviewing and roasting Apple's new Vision Pro, bluntly stating his own Quest 3 was not just a better value, but a better product. It was direct, unfiltered, and for many, surprisingly relatable. This is the Rebirth, the Bay Area phoenix, rising from the ashes of incinerated trust, now looking stronger, more human, and more confident than ever before. But it forces us to ask the essential question: is this a genuine personal evolution, a man finally coming into his own under immense pressure? Or are we simply witnessing the most sophisticated, meticulously crafted rebrand in modern history? The truth, as it often is far more ambitious than either of those options. Because the new physique, the new public face, they weren't the endgame, they were the armor he needed for the real battle to come. This battle began in late 2021. While the world was busy dissecting Facebook's endless controversies, Zuckerberg executed the single most audacious pivot in corporate history. He didn't just change the company's name to Meta. He declared the old world obsolete. This wasn't a cosmetic rebrand to escape a tainted legacy. It was the public planting of a flag on a new, uncharted digital continent, the Metaverse. And this new empire would be built on two linchpins of innovation. The first is artificial intelligence, but he played it differently. While rivals like Google kept their powerful AI models largely under wraps, Zuckerberg open-sourced his Llama 2 model. It was a masterstroke. He wasn't just building a product, he was giving away the tools for free, inviting an entire generation of developers to build their future on his platform.
It was a strategic seeding of his influence across the entire ecosystem, a quiet colonization of the digital frontier. The second linchpin was the key to the kingdom itself, virtual reality. And here his strategy became crystal clear with his recent candid review of Apple's Vision Pro. He didn't just critique it, he positioned his own Meta Quest 3 as its philosophical opposite. Apple offered a breathtaking $3,500 glimpse into the future for an elite few. Zuckerberg offered the future for $500, for everyone. One was a museum piece, the other was a tool for mass revolution.
He isn't trying to win a slice of the current market. He's trying to create the entire market from the ground up, in his own image. And suddenly, the picture is complete. This is no longer about social media. It's a high-stakes, three-way race for the soul of the next internet. Google, Apple, Meta. Three titans,
each with a different vision for our digital tomorrow. And in the center of it all is Mark Zuckerberg, no longer the apologetic CEO in a congressional hearing, but a modern-day emperor, marshalling vast resources for a singular, world-altering goal. This is the ultimate answer to how he survived. He isn't just trying to recover from his past, he is trying to make his past irrelevant.
The plan is so colossal, so forward-looking, that if he succeeds, the Cambridge Analytica scandal, the privacy breaches, the years of public distrust, all of it becomes a mere footnote, a messy but ultimately insignificant chapter in the origin story of the man who built the next reality. This is his trillion-dollar gambit to secure not just his fortune, but his legacy forever. But what kind of person even conceives of a gambit on that scale? What seeds of ambition, planted decades ago, grow into a desire to build a new reality? To understand the man, we have to go back, all the way back to the beginning.
His story begins not in a Palo Alto garage, but in a comfortable home in Dobbs Ferry, New York. His father was a dentist, his mother a psychiatrist, a household grounded in both the mechanics of the real world and the complexities of the human mind. Here, intellectual curiosity wasn't just encouraged, it was the currency of the home. And it was here, at the age of just 12, that the first ghost of Facebook appeared. He called it Zucknet. It was a simple, primitive messaging program he built so his father's dental receptionists could communicate with him inside the office without shouting. A private, digital connection for a single family. Even then, the fundamental drive was clear: to use code to bridge a gap between people. This drive followed him to the hallowed halls of Harvard University. But here, the social world was a complex code he couldn't easily crack. So he did what he knew best. He built tools. First came Course Match, a practical program helping students choose classes based on who else was enrolled. It was useful, collaborative, and quiet. Then came Face Mash. It was the opposite, viral, addictive, and deeply controversial. A hot or not game using hacked photos of his fellow students. It got him in trouble with the university administration, but it also revealed a fundamental, uncomfortable truth about online behavior that would become the bedrock of his empire. And then, in a dorm room in February 2004, everything converged. The Facebook.com went live. Within 24 hours, over 1,200 Harvard students had signed up. The idea was electric, but its birth was not without conflict. Soon came the infamous lawsuit from the Winklevoss twins, a story so potent it was immortalized in the film The Social Network, forever cementing the image of Zuckerberg as the brilliant hoodie-wearing founder who was either a visionary who out-executed his rivals or a thief who stole a billion-dollar idea. That debate still echoes today. But while they debated, he built. He bought the Facebook.com domain for $200,000. He launched the newsfeed. And he introduced a simple, tiny button that would go on to rewire the emotional grammar of the entire planet. The like button. The quiet boy from Dobbs Ferry was gone. A titan was rising. And rise he did, straight into a storm of his own making, only to emerge on the other side, wealthier, stronger, and more influential than ever before. His is a story of our time, a digital pariah at the center of global scandals who resurrected himself like a phoenix from the ashes. He traded his awkward past for the armor of a fighter, all while placing a $1 trillion bet that he could build our tomorrow. So, is he the villain who broke the internet, or the visionary attempting to rebuild it? The truth, I think, is that his legacy holds both, and that is the enduring fascination. Whatever you believe him to be, one thing is certain.
The final chapter of Mark Zuckerberg's story is still being written.
Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which legendary tech founder should we explore next? We've already journeyed with figures like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you, like me, are captivated by the great stories that shape our world,
I'd be so grateful if you would like this video and subscribe for more deep dives to come.